Welcome to Ask Hypnotica 46. Today we're going to get right into it because you know what? I was feeling a little lazy. I didn't even want to put any clothes on for you guys today. But don't trust me, I won't stand up, okay? I don't want to distract you guys, all right? You know, I could be focusing on that shit. You don't want to focus on that kind of shit down there unless you're a woman. So if you're a woman, you can think about that and focus on that down there. But if you're a man, try in vain not to think about that, okay? Just a little wordplay there, guys. Anyways, I'm going to keep on going on here. Listen, this is from, I think, Zaka or Zach Cha. He's 17 years old and he lives in Denmark, way over there. And he goes, first of all, I want to thank you for your YouTube videos and all the high entertainment value and he got from my book, Meta Whore. He wants to ask me a question regarding food and nutrition. I saw that your Ask Hypnotica videos about living food and health and watched some of Brian Clement's talks on the subject. Now, he's been drinking green juices and smoothies for a long time, so he's aware of the health and energy benefits he's getting, and he feels a lot better. Good job, man. Smart thinking, okay? He's very tuned in by the fundamentals of nature and raw food experts, but personally, he's come to a standstill as we humans have little awareness of what is true and probably have very limited ability to ever find out. There are so many diets and schools of thought in the health industry, and a lot of people in different schools of thought seem to have their claim backed by research. I'm well aware Brian Clement claims that a lot of people are being paid to promote unhealthy things for the good of the corporate world. While I'm sure this is true, I have a quote and a question I'd like to share. Stay away from extreme ideologies. They are almost always wrong, okay? And here's the question. How can you navigate through all the information in the health industry to find out what works for you? And what is your view on people claiming to have ultimate truth? All right. If someone claims to have ultimate truth, run. All right. There is no ultimate truth because truth is always expanding. All right. We're always getting new information. We're learning new things. There are good, solid principles that are everlasting. What I mean by that is they're consistent. And if you follow them, for the most part, you're going to get good results. So those are the things that you really want to stick with. Now, here's kind of something that's interesting as far as this goes. In the corporate world, which unfortunately we're all a part of, and there's just shady ass people that don't give a shit about anything except for the good old fashioned buck. That's what I call reptilian thinking. All right, they don't care about anything except for making profit, and they're going to say whatever they want to say to get you to buy things. There's a thing called checkbook science. So when you see all these sciences coming in, it's like, well, you know, arsenic, if you take a small dose in your Cheerios, is going to make you live longer. All right. This is the way checkbook science works. Okay. You think there's some almighty good person out there that's like, let's just do a survey and find out how science works because we're just good natured human beings. It doesn't really work like that. It costs millions of dollars. So the people that have the money basically go like this. They go to a person, they say, here's $1 million. This is what we want to prove. So would you be willing to do this? Person looking at the $1 million going, sure. So he comes up with some kind of weird thing on why arsenic is good in Cheerios, and he comes out with this survey, right? That's how it really works in the real world. Now, you really can't go wrong with any of the health things like raw food. Like, listen, a lot of people go, oh, raw food that's so extreme. Let me tell you what's extreme. Getting your clavicle, okay, or your sternum opened up with a saw, opened up, taking a vein from your leg, all right, and tying it in so that you have a triple bypass surgery. That's a little extreme. Paying $100,000 for an open heart surgery, that's pretty extreme, okay? Eating something that's natural, that God gave to us, is actually pretty natural. That's how twisted this whole thing has got. We eat McDonald's or something like that, and that's natural food. There's nothing natural about it. So when you're talking about extreme, talk about like what's really extreme, and that's all these people eating crap. Like if you go into a Walmart or any of these things and you look at what's in people's baskets, it's ridiculous. It's like sugar, 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 sugar. And you look at, there's not one natural thing there. That's extreme, okay? Being 50 pounds overweight, waddling down, and you can't even bend over to tie your shoe, that's extreme. Okay? Not being able to see your dick super extreme. All right, you don't want that either. I mean, so think about it. Like, where is the level that we're used to? And it's time to rethink these things. Like the natural food, the natural minerals which are in live organic foods. It's live. It's got the minerals that's bioavailable to your body to take. That's normal. That's natural. That's food. That's not Franken food, okay? So you really got to kind of think about, where are we at within this thing? You also kind of have to look a little bit about, the way that the body processes. Now, I'm not here to convince anyone anything. If you want to eat meat, hey, fucking eat meat, man. Have at it, all right? But I understand what works for me, and I understand how I feel, and I've done the whole thing. I went from full-on meat eater to full-on vegan, all right, eating live food. I know what works good for me. I know what works good for everyone that I put that on, all right? The problem that most people have, like with the vegan diet or they're vegetarian, is they still don't eat enough, all right? And they're only eating salads. Well, that's not going to sustain you. You got to have your lentils. You got to have your oils, all right, through flax oil or anything. You have to have your nuts. You have to have some good food, some caloric density for the most part. And you have to work out or you're going to be frail. That's just the way it is. Anything. Now, a lot of people always say, oh, well, you're vegetarians, they don't have B12. Okay, well, that's why you supplement, okay? As a matter of fact, that meat eaters are actually 6 to 8% lower than vegans in overall B12 deficiency. Most people are B12 deficient, all right? So if you have to pick it up a little bit, get some, I love Sun Warrior protein. It's a great protein. It's got a fermented brown rice husk on it, which has IP6, which is one of the best anti-cancer causing chemicals or photochemicals or that are basically on there, a compound, all right? And so you can always supplement with things. That's the thing. The main thing is people have all these different schools of thought. And a lot of it's marketing. If you're like paleo, guess what? Probably most people don't know this, but paleo was sponsored by the meat industry. Oh, amazing. I bet you didn't know that, okay? Or they think we eat meat. We don't eat meat. We don't need to, okay? It's like amino acids. What are the essential amino acids that we have, the complete, that are easy to digest, okay? And so, like I said, I'm not going to get into it because, people are going to eat meat, and that's fine, okay? They're going to have that, they may, I don't want to say that extreme moment when they're ripping their sternum open and they're like, give me the scalpel, let's cut this thing up, and zzz, okay? That's just the way it is. So, here's the thing. And I got to tell you, this wasn't easy for me. When I went, man, I was 10 years in front of the Atkins diet. When I was in high school, all right, I was looking up this whole thing about eating only meat and stuff like this. And you know what? Hey, it does work. It puts you into a state of ketosis and you do burn fat. Okay, but it's not overall healthy over time. So, excuse me. See, I'm even talking about crappy shit makes me cough. If you want health, okay, you're just going to have to eat healthy. You're going to realize it over time. It's very confusing. I am not going to say it's not. All right, it's extremely confusing and it's kind of meant that way. All right, so you're going to try this. You really want to get to a good, fundamental, healthy lifestyle. That's what it's about. Don't worry about the diets, okay? A good, healthy lifestyle for the most part. And I'm a firm believer in this 80-20 rule, all right? 80% of the time, I do good, all right? Every once in a while, if I feel like it, I will screw up. Just 2 days ago, I came home. Actually, I was no sugars for 2.5 months. My wife made these little cacao chaga chocolate bars, and she knows I don't like to eat sugar because sugar is the most addictive substance on the planet, and when I eat it, it puts me backwards, all right? So she's like, oh, I made all these, and I'm like, do you want one? No. And then I looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, she went and did it, so I'll have one. Okay, what happened next? Binge for the next 5 days, binge, I was raw, she couldn't even sleep in the room with me because I ate so much. I was just I had to open up a window. That's how bad it was. My stomach was just fermenting all that stuff. It was not cool. And I felt like crap and my productivity went down. All right. And so you don't want that. So over experimenting, you really realize what really makes you tick. All right. And this is what I call the examined life. You have to examine it. You have to figure out how things went. Just 2 days ago when I was ending that binge, all right, my roommate brought this pizza and brownies home. It was in the refrigerator. Okay, he's gonna get kicked out soon if you don't watch that shit because I'm dude, it's hard to have a holistic house with pizza in here. You know what I mean? He's not the healthiest guy in the world, right? So sometimes it's like bringing drugs in the house. You don't bring drugs in the house if you're a drug addict. Don't bring alcohol in the house if you have an alcoholic there. It's just one of those things. But I ate the pizza, man, next day I was like mucusy, I was like all clogged up and stuff. And when you're really clean and you eat that, you really realize how bad it is for your body and how it really makes you feel. Most people are just so numbed up and they're just dead, okay, because their body is suppressed and they don't even know what real health feels like. They're living in just mediocre, just kind of mundane blah. And so they think that's natural until they clean their body up. And the body does like slap you around a little bit. It's like, okay, yeah, you've been gone for all this time and you've been screwing up. You know, like if you fast and stuff like this, the first 3 weeks, okay, you're gonna have some serious ups and downs. You're gonna feel like crap because the toxicity and all the chemicals that you've stored in your fat are being released and they're going through your liver and your prostate and you're gonna feel like shit. Okay, so that's just the way it goes. And you wanna just make sure that you're like, hey, body, sorry. That's what you gotta, sorry, I won't do that again. And every time you do it, it slaps you a little bit harder until you get it. Listen, as far back as most people can remember, all right, and even in history, think of the greatest thinkers in the world, okay? They all talk about like this raw food diet, like real food, all right, and the thinking capacities. And I can tell you, I can run circles and circles around people. And they look at me and they don't get it because they're like, oh, he's a meathead with this like fucked up haircut, and he shouldn't be that way. But then I just outrun them, and I'm out creative, and I'm making music, and I'm making videos, and I'm promoting, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff, and making these things right here. And then they can't fathom it. They just don't understand. They're so used to being said mediocre because that's the way they eat, and that's the way their energy goes. See, a lot of people think this. A lot of people are like, well, I'm not motivated. It's not that you're not motivated. You don't have the energy, okay? Trust me. When you have the energy, it's like, what comes first? The energy or the motivation? A lot of people in the society think that you need the motivation. Like, I'm not motivated. No, you don't have the energy. When you have the energy, all of a sudden you're doing the things that you didn't want to do before. And I talk about this all the time. Like dishes, all right? If I was eating crappy, I'd like do the dishes, I'd look at it and be like, oh, I'll put them away later. But when you're feeling good and you're feeling light and you're getting good nutrition moving through your body, you're like feeling so good. You're like, I just did that. You're like, you know, I'm just going to put all these away. Blah, blah, blah. And you put them up on the shelf and you're like walking out and you're like, I'm going to clean the counter as well. Okay, it's like being a tweaker, but you're being a healthy person, all right? Tweaker's bad because it goes downward spiral, but you know, they can clean good, all right? But this is being absolutely natural. And when you're absolutely natural, it's amazing how you feel. And like I said, so a small group of people will ever question that because they're happy. They're happy with being addicted to fucked up food. They're happy with just living blah. They don't want to really feel how powerful they are because they just don't know what to do with it. Or maybe they're fearful of it or whatever. But it really comes down to when you consistently care about yourself. That's the key word. When you consistently care about yourself and want the best stuff inside you because you believe that you're worth it and you look out for you first, that's when it makes the click in mind and you stick to it. All right, so look for the healthy lifestyle overall. Experiment, find out what works, okay? That's your examined life. That's why you can say you have your own prescription of what it takes to get back on track or what you need. And I have a prescription too. When I'm like stressed out, all right, and shitty, I tell everyone, this is what I do. 3-day green juice fast. Boom. That resets me. I go get a massage and I get maybe one thing of acupuncture, okay? And I jerk off and I don't come. I do the old semen retention thing and I spread that energy through my body. And so I like build it up. Okay, after that, man, I'm rolling again. I'm like, okay, back on track. Okay, and everyone goes off track. Just understand that. So just remember, man, what is extreme to you? Okay? Kids that are like now obese and have diabetes, that's pretty extreme, okay? Sugar, the most addictive substance that you eat that you don't even know that you're addicted to, that's pretty extreme, okay? What is your definition of extreme? My definition is simply like, hey, I'm eating a holistic food that the earth provided, that your body can understand, know what it is, and it can absorb it. That's pretty natural. So think about that, okay? That's the difference. Extreme or natural. So with that, hey, I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you got a little bit from it, and we'll talk soon at Hypnotica 47. And I'm about to stand up. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.